Saudi Arabia just made a security promise to Pakistan that could change the game in South Asia, and India needs to pay attention. In this video, I'll explain exactly what's in the new Pakistan-Saudi Defense Pact, why both countries felt they needed it right now, how India reacted, what it could mean short-term and long-term, and the practical steps India can take. Stick around because the deal sounds simple on the surface but hides a few big diplomatic and strategic surprises. Start with the facts. What the pact actually says. On the 17th of September 2025, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia signed what they call a Strategic Mutual Defense Agreement. Put simply, the core line in the agreement says that an attack on one will be treated as an attack on the other. The deal also commits both countries to deeper military cooperation, joint deterrence measures, and closer defense planning. What treat an attack on one as an attack on both really means. That phrase is short and dramatic, but it can mean a lot of different things. At minimum, it's a political promise. Riyadh and Islamabad will consult closely and publicly support each other if either faces major aggression. At the other end of the spectrum, it can be read to imply coordinated military response plans or shared logistics. The pact's language is broad and deliberately ambiguous on the details. For example, it doesn't explicitly say Saudi forces will fight for Pakistan, but it makes that kind of coordinated action politically easier. Why the ambiguity matters, the nuclear question. People immediately asked whether this means Pakistan could extend its nuclear deterrent to protect Saudi Arabia. Public reporting and analysis say the text avoids a clear answer on nuclear sharing. The agreement strengthens deterrence rhetorically, but does not openly declare a nuclear umbrella arrangement. That ambiguity is actually part of the point. It raises the political cost for an attacker without forcing either side into an explicit, legally binding nuclear commitment. Why both countries see the pact as essential now. From Saudi Arabia's perspective, the Gulf has become jittery about the reliability of traditional security guarantees. Recent regional shocks and a sense that external backers may shift priorities have pushed Riyadh to diversify its security ties. Pakistan brings a large military relationship, logistical access, and historic ties that Riyadh can lean on. From Pakistan's side, the pact delivers political backing, economic leverage, and an upgrade in its strategic standing with a Gulf heavyweight. In short, Riyadh gains a strategic partner in South Asia, and Pakistan gains international backing and access to Saudi resources and influence. Immediate reaction in India. New Delhi's public response has been cautious and measured. Officials say they are studying the pact and its implications before making big statements. That is a classic diplomatic move. Don't overreact publicly, but start quietly reassessing contingency plans and diplomatic channels. India also has strong and growing ties with Saudi Arabia on energy, investment, and defense, so Riyadh has reasons not to alienate New Delhi outright. What this means for India in the short term. Practically speaking, the pact is more of a political and diplomatic complication than an immediate military threat. Most likely near-term outcomes include stronger Pakistan-Saudi diplomatic coordination during crises. Pakistan may feel more comfortable using tougher rhetoric, citing Riyadh's backing. Increased defense drills, logistics cooperation, and deeper military-to-military ties between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. A media and messaging challenge for India, because Pakistan can now claim a bigger international backing in diplomatic forums. None of this means Saudi troops will march into South Asia tomorrow. The deal raises the political stakes without instantly changing the balance of forces on the ground. What this could mean in the long term. Over years, three bigger possibilities emerge. A continuingly stronger strategic bridge between the Gulf and Pakistan could shift diplomatic calculations, especially in multilateral forums and negotiations. If the relationship deepens into concrete military logistics or basing arrangements, India would need to map new lines of supply and influence in the Indian Ocean and Western approaches. The most worrying but least likely scenario is any creeping move toward formalized nuclear arrangements or explicit deterrence sharing. That would dramatically raise tensions and force new regional security architectures. For now, reporting suggests this is not the intent, but the ambiguity keeps the door open for friction down the road. What India can practically do about it? India has options that are pragmatic, not theatrical. Diplomacy first. Engage Riyadh quietly and directly. reminding them of India-Saudi energy and investment ties and asking for clarity on any operational implications. Keep the relationship strong so Riyadh sees value in a balanced approach. Crisis planning. Update contingency plans for scenarios where Pakistan publicly invokes the Pact. This is mostly diplomatic and messaging work, but also involves military readiness checks. Regional partnerships. Deepen ties across the Gulf and with other partners like the US, UAE, and Oman for reassurance and practical coordination on security and maritime stability. Public messaging. Explain India's position calmly to international audiences so that any attempt to portray India as isolated in the region is countered. All of these are steady moves that reduce the chance of knee-jerk escalation and protect India's interests without creating a tit-for-tat spiral. This Pakistan-Saudi pact is a big political signal. It cements a closer security link between two important players, raises diplomatic stakes for India, and creates grey zones, especially around the nuclear question, that everyone will watch closely. But it doesn't instantly rewrite the military map. The short-term effects are mostly diplomatic and psychological. The long-term effects depend on whether the relationship stays rhetorical or turns into concrete military arrangements. If this helped you understand the pact, click subscribe so you don't miss my deeper dives into what this means for India and the region.